Super Soul Sisters, it's a new year, it's a new everything, and we've got the opportunity to meet our Super Soul sister this particular day, and that is Eleanor Nabwiso. Many of you may know her as an actress, but of course she started out as a TV personality. She's now a writer, director, producer, and she's done a whole lot. Now this is indeed our Super Soul sister. You're very welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Very busy schedule, let's be honest, really, and we're glad you've made time.
Thanks for having me.
If someone is talking about Eleanor Nabwiso, yes, I know some people know you come from a very, Christian background and things like that, but let us understand you a whole lot more.
Well, it depends on what you want to understand. My name is Eleanor Nabwiso. I'm an actress and producer and director at the same time with Nabwiso Films, a company which I co-own with my husband, Matthew Nabwiso. I'm born to Mr. Kefa Sempanji and Nakamia Jean Francis. I'm the third born of 5 children in the family.
Yes.
And well, I went to Namawunga Primary School.
Yes.
And then I went to Seta High School for O and A level, and then I went to Sikkim Manipal, where I got awarded a degree in Science Information Technology.
Okay. So what was your childhood like? If we're saying the things you remember growing up, of course, with times with your parents, with your siblings, how was that like?
It was pretty fun, yeah, because I had really busy parents. My father being a reverend and a politician at the same time. For as long as I can remember, my father was always in politics and church at the same time. So they used to travel a lot, and my mom as well. But the best, they always had time for us, always had time for us. We were always moving around with them, traveling around with them. Even some events would attend with them, depending on if children were allowed. So yeah, it was really fun growing up and having a big family. We're still are like best friends, so we confide in each other and hardly have any other many friends around, but family were always close, so we're such very good friends, and we keep together. So I must say, growing up in a big family is really fun, and having parents who are busy, doing a lot. My mother being a professor, my father, also being a doctor and a reverend and a politician. Well, it gave us really some good grinding, and we were grounded in faith, Christian faith, and also very disciplined children. So up to date, I thank my parents for what I am right now.
Yes. So now, them being away most of the time, what did that do for you as Eleanor? Did that give you a chance or opportunity to discover yourself and certain things, as a child, or with your siblings to discover a number of things? Because then you had to, all of you then, find your way around while your parents were away.
They were not always away. Like I said, we were always, moving around with them most of the times. Yeah. And for the times they were away, we were in boarding school half the time. Okay. And sometimes when we'd be back home, we'd go for holidays in different places or countries, and it gave us more time to discover who we were and, kind of find ourselves. I should say, for me as Eleanor Nabwiso, then as Eleanor Nabwiso, I tried so much to, explore so much, trying out so many different things. I tried singing, I tried dancing, nice. I tried acting, I tried theater, and with all these things trying everywhere, and also having school at the same time, because then my parents are very straight in life. You have to graduate, you have to get your degree done, and my passion was always just to, do TV, do some stage, go to theater, and I still had to go to school, so I pursued my science and information technology. Drama events. I had drama clubs, yes, in school actually. I was always, among those young girls who were always on stage acting as Mary, or the sheep, or the wise men going to see Jesus, or people dancing these karaoke things. And in high school, I was actually the Miss Interact. Oh, it was in Seta High. Nice. So which gave me more opening to more drama clubs. I was part of the drama clubs, and I would go different schools to present and interact with different drama clubs from different schools. So I think this groomed me more towards drama. And I kind of found myself through that.
Finding yourself back to those roots. Yeah. So now, A-level, what do you choose to do and why?
So A-level, I chose to do head art. Why? Head art was like the easiest combination. I'm so good at reading books. I read novels and so much. I like researching. I have many encyclopedias from my parents' libraries, and I like history. So I chose history because I love, the past and getting to know what happened in geography and everything. So I chose history and then economics, of course, because I needed to know what business is like.
Yes.
If I got a job later, or if I had my own company, how would I run it? So that came easy as well. I mean, money is needed in life.
That is true.
And then I did divinity because it was easy growing up, you know, in the Christian faith with my parents always reading the Bible to us. Divinity came easy for me. And I figured if I did head, it would be easy to pass. I mean, art was, my dad is an artist.
Ah, okay.
He actually lectured at Makerere University in the School of Art. So I felt like I should do art because it should be part of me.
Oh, so it's a family of artistic people,
yes.
basically.
So I did head art and it came easy because I knew I'd literally ace it and go to university without, you know, going to repeat S6 or anything.
So you once did a show as a teenager on the former WBS. So what was the WBS then? Tell us about that. How did that happen and what that experience was like?
So when I came out of school, I wanted to find that easiest job. And, you know, my background being drama in school, Miss Interact, and being an MC in school, and I felt like I should just continue with this line of work. So instead of running around looking for a job in different offices, I went looking for a TV job. And then WBS was like the big screen around.
Yeah.
So I had auditions going on for presenters.
Yes.
And then I came to part and I auditioned actually. And I remember we were like, I think 4 people at the end of the day. And I waited so badly for a call back. But I got called back, I think the same evening. When I had just left, they're like, okay, you have to come back and we record something small because I think you're among the people who did it, you did it better. So I came back and I got the role. And that's how I got the WBS gig. I was presenting K-Files.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a show time, like a show, a magazine show.
Yes.
I did that for some time.
So how was that like, you know, first time? Of course, I know the confidence you had because you've always, you know, you've had the history of being in drama class and things like that. So how was that like though for you, you know, to deal with a new kind of crowd, if I could say, viewership? It's not school.
Yeah.
And now it's like literally everyone watching you.
First, I got the nerves because I didn't know what it would take to do a magazine show.
Yes.
I just wanted to be on TV and do a presenting gig. So I got the job anyway, and when I start working, they say, oh, so there's an event tonight, and I'm thinking, okay, do you guys know what curfew means? I have to be at home at this time. But I talked to my mom about it, and she kind of believed in me and had trust in me, and I was always reporting to her and calling her up, and she would like send someone to pick me up or take me back home. So it was kind of crazy having to present in the night. I lost so many friends along the way from high school because they didn't understand why in the day I'm like sleeping and lazy and I'm working at night. So the time they would have programs in the day, I would be like, I can't make it. So I lost so many friends from high school, and that's what it takes, I mean, to be on TV, because then no one understands your lifestyle.
That is true.
But then it was crazy because I was still really young, and I'm in the presence of so many people, big audiences, and people are not seeing you on the streets. And I had to gain my confidence so much and kind of live my life knowing I'm still really young and I won't be who I'm not because I'm on TV. So I kind of set that as my standard to just live my life. And
So how does this then work with your very strong Christian background? Because so many times people are going to judge on that basis. How did that go? Because here you are, you've grown up with a father who is a reverend, and then they're like, oh, she's doing a nighttime magazine show. How does that work?
My father, interestingly, is a big fan of the arts, I should say.
Yeah.
And I talked to my parents about this, and they knew it was a decent show. Because I think back then, being in the arts was, you know, you're spoiled, you're doing drugs, or you're, you know, not making sense in life. And I explained to my parents over and over again that being in the arts industry doesn't mean you're wasted. I brought them to my work most of the times. I'd say, come see where I work, the TV station, where we're going to do the gigs at night. I'm just presenting and the show is going on, talking to different people, and then I come home. And I remember also inviting them to like my theatrical plays just to watch me do what I do, and they kind of grew to like what I was doing and kind of supported me along the way. So my father was convinced that if he gave me money to live my life, then I wouldn't really run around looking for it in different places or getting spoiled. Or and my mom would always wake up to support me. I'd wake up so early, like at 4 a.m. I'm up and she's waking up, making me breakfast, packing me something to eat. Like, don't look for it anywhere else. Just take this with you. Take this with you, and would say a prayer.
That's good strategy.
Yeah, I would say a prayer and leave. So having known that they trusted me doing what I was doing, I didn't want to disappoint them till now.
So after this, and you're doing this for some time, what happens now?
Well, I did Care Files for a while, and then it had to go to a halt because then the TV station was closing. And at the time, we're like, okay, what are we going to do now? What's next for us? Fortunately for me, by the time the TV station was closing, there was an opening of actors being called up to do the show then. That was called the Hostel show, which I'm famously known for up to date. People still call me by my name that I acted. So I hear of these auditions and I'm thinking, okay, I've been a presenter, but I can still get into TV and be an actress because it's always been my dream. And I was always acting in school as well. So when I saw the auditions call, I gave it a shot. One morning I just went and auditioned and I got the role again. So it was like jumping from presenting TV and becoming an actress on TV again. So before I got the gig, actually, I had a theatre play with the Obsessions back then, To Love Is To Die, the National Theatre. And I remember after doing, I think, like our 4th play, there's a gentleman called Kwezi Kaganda. I think people in the industry would know him. He noticed me and told me, I think you should act on TV. Your voice is quite clear and you're eloquent, and I think you should just go for an audition. And I said, yeah, call me in case there's any audition anywhere, in case you know of anything interesting. And he called me up and told me about the Hostel auditions then. So when I went through and I auditioned for the role and then I got it. So that was the beginning of my journey to the Hostel series then.
But how did you think I should go and audition for this? Because most people, as we speak, it's changing now. And I think this also came with Hostel when people are like, oh, this is interesting. It's actually Ugandan, TV drama. How did you say, I want to go for this? Because most times, most people are not willing to take the chance because quite often we do not see or value what our Ugandan drama scene or TV scene is like. So
after being in theatre for some time and also being with Kwezi Kaganda directing us in the theatre, I felt like he had that eye for grooming someone into an actress or grooming a production to life. And I felt like if he called me for something, why wouldn't I trust in it?
Exactly.
And at that time, it was like the first series in Uganda. The first series, and I was like university kind of.
I would connect with the younger crowd.
Yes, connect with the university. And here I was going to the university. I felt like this should be new and I could relate to this. And I felt like maybe I should be part of this storytelling. So I go for the audition and I see the crowd of people who came for audition as well. I knew some faces there and I'm thinking, this could be something big. Let's just say I trusted the process. And then I jumped onto the wagon and said, let's see where this leads to.
And it led you to a good way.
Yes.
Okay, so now the Hostel, I know everyone up to now, as you said, referred to you as then. What was that experience like? And you were going to join university. So basically you were dealing with instincts of what you believe could have been, as a university girl.
Well, I was already on TV, like I said, so jumping onto another station as an actress at the time was kind of easy, but it came with a big challenge because then I was going to university and I'm thinking if I have to work and study at the same time, but I really wanted it so badly, so I had to balance, I said I would do evening classes as I'm acting in the day, and if the evening shoots, I had to skip the evening class and then catch up with the coursework in the week or come, join people to understand what they learned the day before or have time for my tests. So it was hard juggle there and here, but I kind of managed to get through it. And for me, knowing that it was university and people could relate to it came easy because then I was at uni. So
it went on for quite some time. That must have been a lot of work dealing with school and that. So then when you do the Hostel and you've got that experience and now people are beginning to identify your talents, well, away from the presenting perspective, and they say, oh, she's actually a very good actress, first TV series drama like we mentioned. How then does that shape you, prepare you for whatever comes next?
It actually did. So the Hostel series had every season had 90 episodes. 90 episodes that was shooting every day of the week, apart from Sunday. And if I wasn't shooting, I would be reading a script or sitting with the script writers, or I'll be sitting with the director to see how he works, or I'll be on set trying to see how they light up a set, how they move cameras, which angles are needed, what should people do when they're acting. So for me, it was more like another university. If I wasn't in school learning, economics and all this entrepreneurship and IT, I was on set trying to learn what film is, what film should take, what do I have to do as a filmmaker or as an actress. So it was more like I was in two different schools. So I would say my being on the Hostel set kind of prepared me way beyond 300 episodes of my life knowing that I could learn so much on set, and I didn't even know what was preparing me for next.
Exactly. Yeah. And of course, as she goes ahead to tell us, we must remind you that we are a Daughters exclusive, and of course, Ginger Road, Spear House, which was the former WBS building. And of course, you can try out and check out what they have. They have amazing, amazing things. And don't forget, my name is Rowena Kajumba. We'll be back shortly with Eleanor to talk more about what she does and how she gets to do it. Don't go away. We are a Daughters exclusive. They're giving us this amazing space. And of course, with me, our super soul sister, Eleanor Nabwiso. Of course, so many times we have dealt with different kinds of women from different areas, and that's what we intend to do here in Super Soul Sisters. Today, we have a producer, actress, writer, everything you can think of, TV personality. Of course, she dared herself and said, why don't I see what this is like? And of course, so many times people are waiting to identify their talents, but I think you said, this is where I feel comfortable. Let me go for this. So let's go back briefly. Now, when you're in primary school, at this point, what is that like? How do you feel, you know, as a child, you know, growing up with, you know, a big family like you mentioned, busy parents, but of course they try to make time and make sure they're there for you. What was that like for you in primary school?
I was in boarding school. So like, you know, anyone in boarding school, you get really stubborn and you can do whatever you want because you can get away with it, knowing that my visitation day will be like maybe 2 months or something. But my primary school was a Catholic school. So we were groomed in the Catholic way. It's Namagunga Primary, so we had the rosary, we had our head mistress as a nun, and we lived next to a convent. So it was not that big of an open window that you could get really stubborn, but I mean, people were really stubborn in school. But the fact that the school was, you know, really good at upbringing, you know, the children there, and the nuns being, our head teacher was white, Sister Genevieve at the time. And so our curriculum and our upbringing and the setting and everything, like the music we would do, the plays we would do, was all kind of groomed from the white background, brought into Africa then. So we kind of had that proper setting for a child. So
you were a disciplined child.
I was a very disciplined child, but very stubborn.
Anything in particular you remember, you're like, I can't believe it's me that did this.
In primary school, there's so much I can remember, but now, let me just say I got a brain freeze.
But of course, you know, growing up, these are experiences you look back to sometimes and you're like, what was I thinking?
But you know, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'd say I'm glad I did what I did back then, whether primary school or high school or university, and I feel like we had to do it.
Yeah.
You know, if it meant running out to a club and dancing yourself till morning, or it meant, you know, jumping from home, we weren't allowed to go somewhere and go somewhere with friends and chill. If it meant doing the craziest you would, like get onto a gig and just do a gig, like I have to do this before getting permission and see where it takes you. So the whole adventure and trying to do different things illegally, but kind of in a disciplined way again, for me was more like a good adventure, and I'm glad we went through the crazy times when we were younger, because now it gives us time to sit back and say, well, I'm glad I did all that, because it was all a milestone of learning and having different experiences.
That is very true.
Yeah.
So now the Hostel goes on for a couple of episodes and a couple of years, which of course we all enjoyed. What then do you decide to go into next? What drove you into continuing with this journey and taking on the next project?
So after the Hostel, I was a season 3. We kind of figured it was coming to an end as a series, and it took us a year of, you know, being home and trying out different things, trying to do farming, trying to open up different companies, trying to invest in different things as an entrepreneur. And I kind of felt like everywhere I would go, people would be asking, where do we find you now? The Hostel ended, what are you guys up to? I want more of your work. I want to see you on TV some more. Are you going to present again? So what's next for you? What's next for you? So for me, having this question in my mind each and every night, what's next for you? What's next for you? It gave me the push to like kind of think of what we should do next.
Exactly.
So at the time before the Hostel ended, I had met Matthew, my husband now, and we had gotten married, and then we had our first child, and we were thinking, now we're moving together. We were both in the Hostel. We have a child, and people are still asking us, where do we find your work, guys? We love your work on TV. And we thought to ourselves, well, it was after 300 episodes or more of the Hostel, and we'd learned so much on the set. What it would take to be a director, a producer, what it takes to write a good script, what it takes to be a good actor, a good actress. And we thought, well, why don't we just open our own film company? What does it take?
Smart.
Yeah, what does it take? Because then at the time, there was no one trying to call you up for another film, another series. And here we are being asked, where is your next work? Where is your next gig? And we're thinking, no one's calling us for a gig. We can't go to any other film set for a gig. So what can we create our own work now, our own film sets, and do something for the public? So that's how we opened up Nabwiso Films with my husband and began a film company.
That is really, that's a huge step to take, you know?
It's a very big step.
A very big step, and very smart thing to do, really. So now you realize, hey, we're both passionate about this. Let us take this chance and see where this takes us. So you're pretty much an adventurous person, eh?
Yeah, really.
Like to take risks. So when you start up your company, Nabwiso Films, what do you start with now? Taking on that step and that journey, what do you choose to start with?
So when we opened Nabwiso Films, we kind of felt like, what should our vision be? What should we do in the industry that is different, that is going to put us at a pedestal higher than any other upcoming film company or anyone trying to join the film industry? So for us, it was more like, okay, let's see what we can do. And at the time, the youth were really engaged with TV.
Yeah.
So many youth, like the percentage of the people viewing our show, the Hostel, so to say, was the youth. And we felt like maybe if we did a company that does film, but not just film, we would do film to entertain, but also inform and educate. So at the time, we thought of looking for a script we could start with, and that's when we found our first script called Rain. It's a movie about HIV/AIDS and early pregnancies in young girls. So we went with that line of work, and we thought we would use our company to change people's lives through film.
Okay.
So we went with that line, but we actually make films to entertain, but also educate you a bit. So you would leave thinking, oh man, I was so entertained, but wow, the message was actually this. So.
Yes. Was that easy breezy for you, or it took a lot of work being the first project and things like that?
It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. And at the time, it was just the two of us, Matthew and I. Here we are having a company to do film, and making film is really expensive. Yeah. Really expensive. Like, we didn't even think about that part when we opened the company. We just thought to be, you know, get a camera, roll it, and then sell it. But it takes too much. There's pre-production, that's scripting, there's casting, there's production, there's trying to market your work, trying to get a buyer for it. And here we were thinking...
And the right people to be in it.
Yes, but fortunately for us, with a vision sold to many different organizations at the time, Rain was bought by many different organizations. And at the time, CDFU noticed our script was really good and came on board and said, how much do you have for the film? And we said our amount, and they said, okay, fine, we'll give you the rest of the amount. Nice. And that was like the beginning of our first major big film. And we were thinking, okay, let's do this. So we did our first major big film, Rain, and I thank God, because up to date, it's still winning us so many different awards and being recognized in so many different countries and states.
Yes, for it.
Yeah, we've had over even 10 awards for it in different countries. We got London, the best Africa-focused film. We got best East African actress in Burundi. We've got best screenplay here in Uganda Film Festival. We've got best director. We've got to in Zanzibar we won something. So in different places,
for
even in China,
that's good.
In Asia, we won the best Middle East and African film. So it's been noticed globally, which kind of put us at a place in life where we're thinking, I think we did too much. I think we did too much. Now what do we do next? Because if we do something less,
you need to top that.
Yes, we do something less, it will be a problem. We do something. We can't do mediocre, we have to go really large. So we thought of what would be next right now. And it wasn't as easy as Rain was to kind of move around getting sponsorship for a show. Yeah. And at the time we had grown more, like after our second born, and I think I was pregnant with my third child, and we were thinking, now we need a project. But along the way we did different projects in between, like short films, skits, different work for organizations, and that's how we kept moving with Nabwiso Films, because we create too much, not just feature films, but also like skits, radio commercials, TV commercials. But we still had that background of we need to do a movie or a series that captures people's attention again as Nabwiso Films. And again, people are hungry for more after Rain. What do we do now? Where do we find you?
Exactly.
So I remember bugging my husband so much, saying, you know, we can't just keep doing commercials and stuff. We need to do another movie or something major. And he said, I know your dream. And he really sacrificed so much. Because he literally emptied his bank account. I emptied my bank account, and we did our next major series, which is #Family.
Yes.
Doing this gave us like a bigger opening in the industry because it was a series sponsored by ourselves.
Yes.
Everything done, produced, directed, acted, and it was a big milestone for us because now we knew what investment takes for film.
Yeah.
And we knew what it would take for us to do any other next step or any other movie. So after #Family, again, the viewers want more, more and more.
Definitely.
It never stops. But #Family opened for us so many doors because at the time it aired and ended here in Uganda. We looked for another platform where we would sell it. So we tried different platforms. So we had sold Rain to Showmax at the time.
Nice.
And Showmax was interested and said, okay, but not a series, we want another feature film. And we said to ourselves, no, now we have a series. We want to sell to different producers and different platforms. So we sold it to DSTV.
Ah, nice.
And they took it.
Oh.
Yes.
That's nice.
So
this was a brilliant idea.
It was really brilliant because I'm like, I think now it's paying off. Thank God it's paying off. Because I was like, if this doesn't work out, my husband would say, now that's the end of film for us. Yeah. But then they bought it at a very good price and then, you know, put it on their platforms. Nice. And we were like, okay, fine. So we produced more of it. And we were going to produce more of the series, and they said, well, we've watched you guys' journey and we've watched what you're doing with yourselves and supporting each other and being a couple working together. There was a call for submissions again for more series and stuff to be commissioned for, and we were like, let's send in our #Family again because it's been showing on their platform and they know it.
Yes.
And they replied with a bigger email saying, no, we have something bigger for you, would like to do.
Yes.
And that was our next major big step.
And what was that?
Sanyu. Sanyu now is like the biggest show in Africa on Showmax and DSTV, and I'm glad it's like the #1 watch show. We produce it now, and I'm acting in it. Matthew's directing it. Like we've been working together along the years. So
no, before that, before Sanyu, did I think you had something to do with
the movie? Yes. So yeah, you're right. After Rain. I wanted to do something as myself because it was always the Nabwisos, and being a woman then at the time, I felt like there's so much we can talk about for women. Yeah. So I asked my husband, listen, can I do something for women myself? He's like, why would you do something for women? That's like trying to bring in empowerment, and I don't know why.
Yeah, and they never like to hear those
things. But women have an audience, you know. Telemundo, speak of Telemundos, they'll watch them. Speak of all the drama, and we don't have something like so dramatic. Yeah. So he gives me a go ahead and said, okay, you do your dream, do what you have to do, but it's all on you. So go on, and I wish you the best. Yeah. He was helpful, like dropping me off on set and picking me up sometimes, but it was all me now. I was like, okay, I'm going to collect a set of ladies, and I want to do something that's going to be the first female-made crew movie in Uganda. Yeah. Something to show the men that women can. Yeah. So I call up a few ladies I know about in the industry, we sit together, and I have my story idea, and I've got a few script writers and say, listen, we're going to do this as women. Yeah. So we all sit together and try to come up with a script and write it out, and I get New would act in it and, you know, nail these roles. Yeah. So the DOP, the sound engineer, the editor, first editor was female. Everybody was female, the whole crew. So there was no man on set trying to do work. It was just the women. And at the time I was pregnant, and our sound recorder was also pregnant. Yeah. So it was just women, you know, pregnant on set trying to work and do things, bring things to life.
That is true.
It was really hectic, but very empowering, you know, having women. And we know when women get together, they either work or spoil something. But this time I was like, hope this works out. And no one is going to say, oh, it didn't work out. Before anyone says,
oh, it's women.
Yes. So it was a group of women who made a huge success. Nice. And this movie, when it was done and aired and premiered, and I got a huge reception from it. And I was thinking, okay, I'm scared. Yeah. And submitted for different festivals anywhere. And then I was invited, and I won the best female Focus Award in London again. Nice.
Let me ask, because so many people don't know how to access these movies unless maybe they're watching DSTV or something. Like, if I wanted to come and get your movie, how do I do that? Where do I find it?
Rain now is on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Nabwiso, Eleanor Nabwiso. Bed of Thorns is still under license with DSTV because they bought it, and hashtag family as well.
Okay.
And I have a couple of short films I put out on my YouTube channel that did a few rounds, and I put them there just for people to watch. Okay. Sadly, we can't do DVDs yet in Uganda because of the copyright law, but hopefully sometime to come, I'm going to consider DVD and just put, again, I'm going to risk it. And see how people are going to receive this, if we'll take it, and how I'm going to manage the copyright and the dubbing. So I think the DVD sales are not yet that value for money yet in Uganda, because I'm not going to sell a movie at 1,000 and receive how much.
Definitely, yes. And now we've already moved into the mainstream. Like
it's now digital anyway. It's digital, but I would like the person who can't afford DSTV or any digital platform to buy a DVD. If I were promised that there will be a nice copyright law, I would sell my DVDs. But I would like to take a risk someday and just sell my movies door to door, maybe on DVD, and see how it goes, if I make my money back. Because as a filmmaker, I'm still a business person.
That's true.
I own a company where we have to share dividends and all that. So my first priority is marketing and distribution. So when you market and distribute, I need to get a platform that's going to pay me back my worth, pay me the money I need. And sadly, it would take the movie for a couple of months, so I can't sell it anywhere else, like, you know, on DVD, or try to have something online for people to watch. So for businesses, sadly, we have to get the good platforms that pay. Showmax, iFlix, DSTV, and they've been supportive platforms.
Indeed. So now, Sanyu, what I'll tell you this, at home, every night, people are setting their timers for, oh my God, it's about to start, it's about to start, it's about to start.
Oh, can I tell you though before? This is pre-recorded. So after Bed of Thorns, since a sister Shan, I'm encouraging women, after Bed of Thorns was done, and after winning so many awards in London, back home, Burundi, and even Uganda Film Festival as well, we bagged many awards. There was a call for the American Embassy. Oh, nice. So they wanted people to go there and coordinate a workshop, and I was invited, among people who were invited. So I got there, and it was because they had seen my work as a woman. And the American Film Showcase should be coordinated by a woman with a woman-owned company. And I remember getting there, and I was really pregnant. And the lady there says, "You're going to do this job, and we're hiring you." And I'm thinking, "You're appointed." And I'm like, okay, Matthew's always helping me. And it's like, no, it's for you as Eleanor. Matthew can come in as someone you're employing, but it's a women kind of led workshop. So it's you, Nabwiso, Eleanor. So open up a company in your name, a bank account with your name, and we're going to run this with you, if you're okay with it. I was so pregnant, but the woman there believed in me. Like, God bless her. She believed me. She said, I know this woman, she'll do it. She's been doing so much alone, and she'll do it. She did a movie Bed of Thorns when she was pregnant, and she can do this workshop again, and she'll manage it. So I didn't want to disappoint her, and I said, I'm going to do this workshop.
And so many times the pregnancy excuse has come up,
Not really, which it should be, with the law, you shouldn't neglect a woman who's pregnant because you think they can't work. So for them to see me pregnant and they were offering me a job, I said to myself, I'm going to do this job. So I did the American Film Showcase as the coordinator of the Women in Film, American Film Showcase. And I managed to pull it off. And along the same lines, after managing to finish that, I got another appointment with the British Council as the events producer with the Euro East Africa Film Festival. The baby was still really young, and I thought to myself, I'm going to manage now. I'm pregnant with the AFS, American Film Showcase, and it has ended. And here I'm jumping onto the British Council, and I'm still going to manage this job. I don't want excuses. I remember having the child cry at home, and I had an appointment. And I said to myself, there are men on this committee. I just had a baby, and I have to be there on time. So I sleep with my phone off, and in the morning I switch it on, and I'm thinking, the time. I fed my child, left the baby, and jumped on a bike and went to British Council for a meeting. But it was the most painful ride of my life because I'm C-section, and getting the meeting, I'm glad when I got there, 2 men had missed this meeting. And they were, she just had a baby, and she said, I'm just like, props to the women, props to the women. So as a woman, I feel like I shouldn't hold back in any way, be it pregnancy or sickness or anything. You just have to go do what you have to do as a woman. And you never know what other door is going to open up for you. Because after British Council, there are many other doors that opened up for many different embassies, the Belgian embassy, the Enable organization, and all these people just keep seeing you from your previous works. So they want to call you as a woman and say, come do something as a woman.
And taking that risk of,
yes,
let me do this by myself this time. This is the idea I have.
Yes.
Also paid off.
Yeah.
So risk taking is in your DNA.
It is my DNA. It's very adventurous. It gives you that blood rush.
It definitely.
Yeah.
So when you get all of these and you're doing, after the American Embassy, you go British Council, and then now, of course, at the same time, as Nabwiso Films, you're having a lot of work going on. Oh my goodness. That is something that many people should look into and not give up on and say, hey, this may seem like too much, but it is not too much at all. So we shall definitely be coming back for a lot more. This story has not yet even started. And she's taken us through a number of things and challenges. So many times people ask women how they do it. Well, it's the same way anyone could take a sacrifice and choose to do something they intend and choose to do. A reminder, Daughters exclusive here on Ginger Road. And of course, you can always pass by and see what they have. We'll be right back. We are back, Super Soul Sister, with us here, Eleanor Nabwiso. And of course, she's telling us and taking us through her story. Now, of course, earlier on, we talked about or hinted on Sanyu, which is your current project or something that you're actually part of and, doing. That, of course, we had to go back there just in reference to what happens after you take on your role as an individual. But then now you get into Sanyu. You earlier on, before we came on set, you were telling me you're producing and acting.
Yes.
Sanyu. So isn't that hectic as well?
It's really hectic. But I always tell people, when you've prayed for something and you got it, you can't start saying, God, today I'm tired.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm tired. I mean, there are times I wake up and I don't want to just do anything else. And I know there's Sanyu to push.
Yeah.
It's got a very high demand. We're producing over 200 episodes for a season. Ooh. And this is every day's shoot. I'm a mother, a wife.
Yeah. I know.
I'm a producer and an actress at the same time.
Yes.
So juggling a timetable on a daily, I have to make time for everybody. Time for set, time as an actress, time for my husband, time for the children and a baby at most. So
to make sure they all don't feel neglected. Really,
But I love the rush because it's something that was long awaited.
Yeah,
we've been producing so much, and for a platform like DSTV to recognize your work and know that they can trust you with something and commission you, for me, it's like it's time. Yeah,
like I earlier mentioned, at home, I think many other homes really. You find everyone, if so and so has not set, the reminder, and another will ask, did you set the reminder? And then you're like, at first, before I watched, actually, I finally got to watch it because I was like, what's going on? Everyone seems to be rushing to watch something, And then my mom was like, you're kidding, you've not yet watched this one? I'm like, no. So that day, I was around at that time. I'm like, let's see, let's watch as a family. And usually at that time, it's probably dinner time, and everyone is like,
yes.
So, quick question. How did you look, or how did you think of taking on this character? Yeah.
When I saw this character, I felt like something different that I've never done.
Yeah.
Like in the past, I've done, Hope, the Born Again. I was Dora Nantongo in Rain, the girl who comes from the village and makes it big, but she's poor. I did other small roles as a, downtown girl. It's always been the pity party for me and my roles. And I was thinking, how about I'm not that woman who has been beaten or who is praying so hard or who is, being pity partied? And I said, well, maybe if I did the role of Lucy, I could audition for it. Yeah. Because I was thinking, if I audition for Sanyu and I got the role as Sanyu, I'd be the same old, that girl, oh dear, oh dear. Then there was Lucy, who had a very different story. The villain, the hated one, the bitter one, the thief, everything bad. And I was thinking to myself, it could be time for a switch. Let me try something different. As an actress, I want to be versatile.
How would this be like?
How would they be received by the public and the viewers? So I auditioned for Lucy and I got it. And I was like, well, it's on. It took me time to get into the role because at the beginning I was like, I don't think I understand Lucy. What kind of woman is this? Who does this to a family or a husband? And with time I'm like, other women out there would actually relate. And families, I'm sure every family has a Lucy somewhere. Yeah, that's true. So I did my research and did some soul searching and knowing who would be this kind of person, what would they do, what's the few things to build me up for the role. So I prepared for it and I said, well, let's do this.
And you're doing it quite well.
Thank
I'll be honest.
you.
No one's hating you, really.
They do love and hate me. I think because they know me as Eleanor Nabwiso. Yeah, I think they know me as Eleanor Nabwiso. So they're like, but then you do Lucy. So when I meet them, they say, oh, hi, Eleanor, but Lucia. And you're like, well, at least they know me as Eleanor. So they know who I am.
That is very true. I mean, gone are the days where people would just hate you for the role you played.
People still hate me, actually, for the role I'm doing now.
Really?
Yes.
Hi.
Those don't know me as Eleanor. And then they're like...
They're like, oh, this one, eh?
Hi.
This Lucy.
People I meet, I'm like, don't be bad to Patrick. Like, stop doing to the family. Who do you think you are? And I'm like, guys, it's TV. I'm acting. It's not.
That is very true. And I know sometimes, like you say, people do relate to this thing.
Yes.
And so how is that experience like for you? Well, what ticks, like, when you're doing this different role?
Well, it takes me time. Like, usually in the morning, if people know the different sides of me, when I get to set, I'm switching. I play loud music in my car, first of all, to get me pumped. Because when I leave home, it's been wake up here, wake up, dress up, eat this, do this, do this. You're making breakfast, you're running around.
That's true.
So the heat of a mother and a wife is like here.
Yeah.
And I'm being Eleanor.
Yeah.
When I get into the car, I'm breathing and on my way to work, and I'm like, okay, now I'm becoming Lucy. Yeah. So that switch, and I read a script and it's really annoying because this woman is so annoying. I play loud music in my car, and when I get out of the car, I like to tease people on set a lot. Yeah. Be the phone you're holding, or what you're doing, or what you're wearing, just to get into character. Yeah. So as an actress, you kind of build your character based on your environment. So I kind of get to blabber too much, and you know, these people, and I kind of get into character.
To get
just to get myself out of Eleanor and the mother I am and the wife I am, to become this really rude woman. Yeah. So everyone at work knows when I get in, it's like, she's getting into character. So although I hope people know I'm getting into character, because I really mean what I'm saying at the time.
Some people may not get it, but I think
I try to explain sometimes. Now, with after a year of working with different people, now they understand who I am. I try to invite them for different like events or lunch or drinks, and now they know who I am personally. And then they know who that woman is, Lucy. So when I'm on set trying to build my character and keeping around people, they know now. I hope they do understand that I'm kind of building a character.
Indeed. So now, Sanyu is something that, of course, so many people are enjoying. What do you see it in the near future? Because, of course, people are asking questions.
I really hope, and I do know, this series is going to be for half your life. You know, like when you're growing up and you watch Generations and you watched Ebony's Viva War, Egoli, and these build us for generations, you know. We've grown with the actors, we know what they are, what they're doing, what they're up to, or what they might do next. Yes. So I believe Sanyu series is going to be that series that's going to keep people glued with a drama. Yes. Because people can relate to any character they're watching, be it a wife, a child, or a maid. So everyone relates to this series, and as they grow to watch it for years, I really hope they keep glued. And even if it ever ended.
Like how we used to watch all these telenovela things.
And you get glued for years.
And this is homegrown.
This homegrown, really homegrown, and it's originally like made for Ugandans, because then you can relate to what the language and the drama in it. And even if it ever ends after so many years, like Generations and all the other things ended, we will still produce something that Ugandans will be glued to.
I want people to know and understand who you are as Eleanor. What drives you?
Wow, what drives me? For me, it's more. I want more. Yes, I'm simple, but I want more. I like to adventure, and I like to, prove a point that I can do more. And I think because growing up, my mother always told me, I think I've said this on all my interviews and all the shows, but for many years, it's going to be the same saying I'm going to use all the way, because my mama always told me, if you're good at something, don't let it rest until your good is better and until it gets best. So if you're good, make sure you get better. Don't let it rest until your better is best. So my inspirational quotes are just that, and also aspire to inspire. Many times we do things, but we never feel like maybe someone out there is being inspired. But half the time I get emails and my inboxes, and everyone's like, you inspire me, and I'm thinking, I didn't even do much. But because you're doing something, then you're inspiring someone.
But what do you incline to most? Is it the writing, the production process, or the acting?
My first love? Well, my first love is acting, but I do love creating. So I'm not going to lie that I'll tell you one thing, but again, production, one thing leads to another, one thing leads to another. So I believe as an actress, I can create. So I create situations, I create scripts. I love creating all this drama, but I'm not so good at writing a whole script.
Yeah.
So that I'll tell you my story, and I have a team of scriptwriters who will now put it down. Okay. So I'll supervise a script, and then I write bits or pieces of what I want to do into the script. Because I'm not a patient with writing 90 pages. So
but you can wake up and change your mind about something.
Yeah, because I'm the creator of the idea. I'm the producer of the idea.
Yes, that's
so. True. And being an owner of a film company, I can't say that one role is enough because I need to oversee everything.
That is true. What has it been like for you as a woman in the industry? Has it been easy, or you've had to tackle a few things here and there? I
don't like telling women that you need to tackle a few things here and there. It should come naturally. Because what makes a woman be accepted amongst a bunch of women, women and men working in a society? What makes a man realize that this woman is worth it? What will make a man feel like she's a film producer, she's a director, she's a, you know, the people who hate and say, why does she do all these roles? But as a woman, I've woken up and said to myself, I'm going to build onto my craft. I don't want to come on a set and sit here and say, oh, roll camera. And then the man is doing everything. I don't know what ISO means. I don't know what aperture means.
Yes.
I don't know what exposure means. I want to build onto my craft. So as a woman, I believe you need to add onto your craft. So you give men a reason to respect you in your industry. I would say I've had a few difficult, I don't even call them difficult because it's just envy. I've had times where men feel like, no, you shouldn't be doing this. Oh, I think I should be doing this. And I don't speak. I wouldn't argue with a man about a role. I'll just come to your camera and do what you should do. And I say, how about this? And the more I do it for you, you'll be like, oh, this chick understands her game. This chick, I'll work with this chick. I think she understands her game. So I think the times where I felt like I'm in the field and I think I need to call a man now to lift the camera because it gets heavy lifting it over and over. Or I need to call a man to hold the boom because I can't lift my hands up like this the whole time. So as a woman in the industry, it's been more like I need to prove myself, build my craft. So I look out for YouTube channels that have these teaching lessons for actors, directors, producers, camera angles, lighting. I love learning about lighting a lot. So I teach myself a lot more about my craft in the industry so that when I go to work with men in a field, they understand I know my game.
I will ask you, what is that particular thing that probably someone watching out there may not know about you, but you do love to do in your free time, if you get any?
Well, I'm a really, really big fan of partying. I won't lie. Because we work so hard. We play really hard. Like, even if I had a very hectic day on a Monday, and we finish work at like 10 p.m., we still go somewhere, have a little fun, go somewhere, adventure. We like going out to have fun. I like to read novels a lot. But I read novels a lot. I like to read novels and swimming. I don't know how to swim for fun, but I like to swim for exercise.
For exercise, okay.
So I'll do laps and come out and can't sit there flapping my legs and singing. And then I love traveling.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I love traveling a lot. Different countries, different people, engaging different cultures and knowing different people from different backgrounds. So you have a favorite food, favorite drink, a favorite something you do with your loved ones? I'm so bad with my eating habits. I like eating healthy on a normal day, like less carbs, less sugars. But I also binge. I binge a lot. I would do my ice cream and biscuits, and I won't lie. And then I want to work out after that. I'm like, no, I think I've gained like 10 kgs now. I need to work out. So I love snacking a lot, but my favorite, I like pizza. Sadly, I do. Like, I'm that girl who will get pizza and stash it in a fridge, and I'll say, like, tomorrow lunch, no, I'm not cooking. Guys, pizza. Pizza, and everyone's like, Mom, can we cook today? So I love pizza, I love pasta. Like the easy, really bad eating habits. But I love the healthy side of it.
That's good. Very interesting one, eh? You have children. You have identified their characters and everything, but do you see any of them in the characters you put out there? Do you see some of their characters, and does it influence what you put out on TV?
Oh, it does influence them a lot. Like, many times I have my girls putting on my heels and trying to walk like Lucy. And then sometimes I see my girl first girl trying to dance a lot, like mama, because most times at home it's like a party. We like to dance a lot. The boys though, my first child likes acting, and I've encouraged him so much. Because every time he's asked to be part of something, I say, "Oh, let's go and set an act. I'm gonna give you a role. Are you gonna manage it?"
Yeah.
And I know one day there's a movie gonna come out where I put him as a main character.
Yeah.
And we worked till late. We shot a movie till late in like 2 a.m. And he would sleep off and wake up and he's shivering and he's tired and I'm like, "You still want to be an actor?" He's like, "Yes, yes." But he's crying and he really wants it. And the next day he's like, "Are we going to work now?" And he's up and you're like, "Okay, I think you really want to be an actor."
He really wants to do it. Yeah.
My second son though is a bit reserved, but he would want to act. Just a little bit of a role, but not the whole like feature film.
Okay.
Just show
so
up and chill.
It looks like could be a writer or someone to
I think like the
push
money
the
bags.
direction
It's like
of-
the
yeah.
money bags.
Yeah.
He's that bossy kind of guy.
Yeah.
And then the girls, I'm sure are gonna take up many roles because
Yeah.
I've put 2 of them. Actually, I think all my children have been in some of my movies and series.
Really?
They've done cameo roles as the baby, as that boy who comes in, or as that girl who is behind mommy, or they've done a couple of cameos.
Yeah, you sneak them in a little.
Yeah,
and
because they
then-
ask, and I've
Yeah.
not walking up and down and said, "I'm taking you to do something. Let's go." No,
they actually
they ask because most of the times they're on set with us, and they are inquisitive to know, and they want to do something with the camera and be in front of a camera. So yeah.
And how has that affected, like, knowing what their parents are, what their parents love? How has that then fallen back on them in terms of how they relate around, the social skills and things like that?
They're very inquisitive, very inquisitive.
Yeah.
And the good thing, we've tried to ground them in the sense that they are Christian, just like my parents did, or like my husband's parents did, but then also the fact that they should keep it real.
Yeah.
Like, don't feel like you own this world because you were in one skit on TV, or you were in a commercial. You got paid, and it's done, and it's still very young. So we kind of just groom them. Maybe if they ask for like expensive things because they're going to school and kids are going to be like, "Hey, the celebrity." Like, no, come on, you did one gig.
Yeah.
It's been over 10 years for us, so relax.
Exactly.
Be yourself, you're a child. So you try to keep them on the, on the leash, like just don't lose it. So
how do you deal with the pressures as a woman, knowing that, hey, I'm in the eye of the public?
From a young age, I joined TV and I told myself I'm going to be myself. I don't care what people are going to say or do to me, I'm going to be myself. So I've been bashed so many times for not putting on makeup, for just being casual, for taking a bike or hang out in a cheap zone or being in a cheap restaurant or being in a cheap bar. And I'm like, this is what I can afford right now. I'm just 20 years old, I can have a bike, I can go on a taxi because I can afford this. I don't want to call my dad to send me a driver because now I'm living me. I want to be me.
You're trying to make
and I'm setting my identity. So many times people don't even know my dad or my mom, and I live my life as like Eleanor. Most people call me Val, my nickname. It's until interviews started coming in, they're like, "Oh, that's your dad. So you're a rich girl. You're a rich girl." I'm like, "Nope. No. Did you notice I take a bike and a taxi?" Because I chose to live my life as who I am and chose to, let the
Start
public.
your journey.
Yes, and I chose to give the public what they need to know. So I chose to just do it with the pressure. I mean, the times where I've been caught in the market and people are like, at the time we had those tabloids, they were so bad because I was really young and the tabloids were not kind to me at all.
Yeah, I know.
But every time I would read a tabloid in the morning, in the paper I would say, "It's news today and it's trash tomorrow." So so what if I did something? I was living my life and it was the age for this.
You're human.
So I think people should choose their journeys. Don't let the pressures of the public get to you in any way. Like if I'm at home, my sandals is okay. Short is okay.
So it's a good feeling, I know, to be a part of a changing scene in the Ugandan film industry. Now we're having so many people watching our local grown content, which wasn't the thing in the past, really. So you're making people think twice. At the end of the day. Thank you so much. And our super soul sister today, Eleanor Nabwiso, and of course she's given us a whole story on how she decided to take on a challenge and another, and taking risk seems to be in her DNA. Now, every time you feel the urge to try something, go ahead. You'll see what happens after. But, my grandfather used to say, you better try and fail, eh?
Yeah.
But do not fail at all. To try. So thank you so much for your time. Very interesting. Now, of course, we all know the lovely characters. The lovely character. I'm going to do this. because I am with the person, not the character of Lucy, of course, and Sanyu. And of course, all the kids know how to sing the song. I don't know how to sing the song, but the storyline is beautiful. It's more relatable with, and we do pray and hope that you bring a whole lot more for us, eh?
Yeah.
Do wish you the very best.
Thank
you.
And
I mean, it's not, you know, it's very easy to be a woman. You can still be a mother. you have your work, you know, you have your home to take care of. I always see my producer and my boss running up and down, but she's always, you know, doing her best and making sure she does deliver. So don't sit back and be discouraged.
Yeah.
What do you have for the girls out there?
It's funny you said girls, because now I'm thinking of the girls and I'm like, oh dear. But as a girl or as a woman growing up, I should say, don't be afraid to take risks. Never think that you can't do something until you try to do it. You need to aspire to inspire the next generation of a girl coming after you, or the next woman coming after you in your footsteps. So I should say, if you find something you're interested in doing, you need to do it right. And don't hesitate. If you're good at something, make it better. Never let it rest until the better is best. Find your craft and don't fail to improve it each and every day of your life, because it's the only way you're going to be accepted in society. And aim to improve, aim to succeed, aim to achieve, and aim for more always.
Indeed, it's good to aim for more. Thank you so much, Super Soul Sisters. Thank you for watching.